Hi everyone, I'm Shruti and I'm from Singapore, and today I'm going to take you all the way to France. In this lockdown, we can't travel anywhere, so let me take you there through a recipe of mine. Today I'm making a French dessert called poached pear in red wine sauce. Let's get cooking. For the poached pears, you need a whole bottle of red wine, that is 750 ml of red wine. You need a cup of sugar, an orange, you need a stick of cinnamon, a few cardamom pods, a few cloves, vanilla essence, and 4 pears. Now let's get to preparing the pears for the poaching liquid. So what I'm going to do, I've taken big sized 4 pears. You can take 5 medium sized pears. I'm just going to peel them whole and core them. So I'm going to carefully cut them into halves, trying my best to keep the stem intact, so it's easier for me to core them. You can even use the whole pear and core it from inside, but these are too big in size, so I'm going to cut them in half. So yeah, successfully done. I'm going to just core the pear. And I'm going to prepare all the other pears just like the way I did here. So now I have prepared the pears, I have cored them, and I have added them to the bowl. I'm going to juice a whole orange, and I'm going to remove the peels and add them to the poaching liquid. So what I'll do is, let me first add the wine. I'm going to add the whole bottle of red wine to this. And I want the pears to completely drown into them. So make sure you settle them down so every pear is completely dipped inside the wine. Now, I'm just going to peel maybe 2 or 3 long rinds of orange. This adds a lot of flavor to the poaching liquid. And I'm going to juice the whole orange into the bowl. Just make sure you're keeping your hand to catch the seeds. To this I'm adding a stick of cinnamon, a cup of sugar, a few cloves of cardamom, and a few cloves. To this I'm also adding a little bit of vanilla essence, about a teaspoon. And now I'm just going to lightly just stir it while they're still hard. So the sugar kind of mixes into the wine well. Do not boil this aggressively. I want to poach the pears in this liquid, so the liquid has to be very slow boiling and slow cooking, so that the pears don't completely become a mush inside the bowl. We need soft pears. So once this whole thing warms up, just reduce the flame and close the lid and let them cook for about 20 minutes. Now let's see, it's been 10 minutes and I'm just going to turn them around. It's smelling amazing. Now the reason for taking a pot like this is the fact that you need the pears to completely drown in them. If you take a flatter pan, it's not going to poach that well. So make sure your pan is a little deep. So this is 10 minutes in. I'm going to poach them for another maybe 10 to 15 minutes until they are soft. I'm just going to poke a knife and see. So now it's been about 5 minutes since the last I checked, because I left it to boil for about 10 minutes. And what you have to do is you have to constantly keep checking this. So now my knife is easily going in and they have been poached beautifully. Now what happens with the pears is, if they are the softer or the ripe variety, they'll cook a little faster. So keep a check as to how fast they're going to cook. So if they're really hard, they're going to take a longer time to cook. So these were quite soft and ripe. So it's taken really half the time of what I mentioned before. So I'm going to take them out. Let me switch this off. And I'm going to slowly tip them out. So you don't want them to become extremely soft and mushy, because they're not going to hold the shape that you want for your dessert. So now I am going to strain this liquid and tell you what I'm going to do after this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain this liquid into a smaller saucepan. So these are the bits that we added to the wine. So now I'm going to reduce this syrup to 1/3, and I'm going to constantly keep a check on it. And I want this to turn into a syrup. There's sugar already added to this, and once this is syrupy, I will plate this dessert. Now it's been almost 5 to 7 minutes that it's been on a roaring boil. I'm stirring in intervals and making sure that I'm keeping a check on this. I'm going to wait for another 5 to 10 minutes for it to reduce to a little more quantity until I get a syrup. Now after 5 more minutes, now it has come to half of the quantity that we started off at. I have to wait and stir a little more for another few minutes till it is 1/3. So this is what it has reached to. Now it's been 20 minutes and it's come down to 1/3 of the quantity. I'm going to switch off the flame. I'm going to show you that it's quite hot, so you need to wait for it to cool down, and it's quite thick and a little syrupy now. And I'm going to wait for it to cool down. So now I have cooled down the pear and I have served it with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. I'll show you how to plate this. Now the reduced wine sauce has become nice and syrupy. So now you can pour this over your pear and a little bit around it, so that it creates a bed of syrup with the pear, and you can even drizzle a bit over the ice cream. I'm going to garnish this with a few pistachios just for some crunch. And that's how you get a super fancy restaurant style poached pears in red wine sauce. Have fun, enjoy this amazing and fancy dessert in the comforts of your home, and keep watching my recipes. Thank you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.